Swell in laminate, crooked walls, or perhaps endlessly flooded neighbors below. All these problems are constantly encountered by people who are ill-prepared for renovation. Today you will learn about how to avoid foolish mistakes in various tasks that could lead to legal troubles. Enjoy watching. Improper surface preparation. One of the most significant mistakes in any renovation is improperly prepared surfaces for finishing work. You can buy expensive materials, fancy tiles and wallpaper, but if errors are made during the rough finishing stage, all your efforts will be in vain. For instance, for wallpapering or painting, a perfectly smooth surface is required. Any flaws on your wall will be immediately noticeable. Bumps may form on wallpaper, and even the tiniest imperfections will be visible when light is directed at painted surfaces. You must ensure that the surface is clean, smooth, and free from irregularities or old paint. Poor rough finishing can also lead to cracks, causing wallpapers to peel off, and even on painted walls, these cracks will be visible. In the case of laying tiles, if the screed is poorly done, cracks can also appear. In such a situation, your flooring will start to come off. In the case of laminate or parquet, there may even be bumps in certain areas. Another mistake is the lack of even pouring. If you make a mistake at this stage, your floor will be uneven or even sloping. Such carelessness in rough finishing can lead to double spending. Just a couple of weeks later, problems may arise that can only be resolved by completely redoing the renovation. Next, you will learn about various small details that can ruin any renovation. Radiators with floor connections. When installing radiators, many people opt to connect them to the water supply through the floor to save on renovation costs. This solution is indeed cheap, but it brings many problems. For example, you won't be able to install a full-fledged floor covering without clever tricks. If you're using tiles for the floor, it will be extremely difficult to camouflage the problematic area. Only skilled craftsmen can make a perfectly accurate cut around the pipes in the floor. In the case of laying laminate or parquet, an uncovered section of the floor may remain, where dust and dirt will accumulate. This is because such a section cannot be covered. Laminate and parquet are locked together with a special lock, and a small piece will not hold. While you can avoid this problem when laying tiles, doing it neatly is very difficult. It's much better to spend a bit more money and time and opt for concealed radiator connections in the wall. In this case, you won't have problems with the floor. You'll be able to easily install any floor covering, and there won't be any problematic areas. Cleaning the corners around the radiators will also be incredibly simple. Plus, wall connectors look the most beautiful and inconspicuous. The next set of mistakes will be focused on one room, the bathroom. Bathroom renovation. In the bathroom, inexperienced renovators often make many less than ideal decisions. For example, when installing a bathtub, many people put special ledges on it to prevent water from getting into the gap between the wall and the bathtub or shower cabin. This solution looks outdated and doesn't serve any functional purpose. Water can also seep through the seams where these ledges are attached to the wall, leading to mold formation. Moreover, these ledges are designed to make using the bathtub convenient, allowing you to easily get in and out. But with such ledges, valuable space for your hands is lost, making it inconvenient to use the shower. Furthermore, finding high-quality ledges that match your tile color can be challenging. Such a solution will look old-fashioned. It's much better to create a standard connection between the bathtub and the wall and seal the seams with high-quality insulation material that won't come off over time and is easy to clean. It will also look much more aesthetic. Black faucets. A designer interior always looks expensive and beautiful, but it can still have flaws. If your design includes black faucets and showers, you should think twice. Cheap solutions will inevitably start to rust and the paint on them will peel off over time. Even expensive faucet options don't guarantee a solution to this problem. All of this happens because of the aggressive environment in which your plumbing will be situated. Water is a powerful oxidizer, so any cheap paint will eventually start peeling off, allowing water to reach the metal from which the faucets are made, causing them to rust. Then it follows a predictable pattern. The metal rusts, the paint flakes off, and your beautiful faucet turns into something quite dreadful. To avoid this problem, you should consider changing the design of your bathroom. You can use black plumbing fixtures, but you should understand that cheap options won't work. Opt for faucets with powder coating. Such paint is highly resistant to adverse conditions and is one of the most durable. However, such solutions are considerably more expensive than traditional ones. Continuing on the topic of the bathroom, there is another crucial parameter to consider: waterproofing. In the bathroom, high-quality waterproofing must be done, and the floor should be lowered relative to the level of the rest of your apartment. Why is this done? The reason is that doing waterproofing throughout the entire apartment is impractical and costly. The difference in floor levels allows for the localization of leaks in one room, reducing the chances of flooding neighboring apartments or rooms below your bathroom. Waterproofing must be carried out strictly according to the regulations, extending onto the walls. If this is not done, the lesser evil will be flooding your neighbors. After all, to flood someone, you would need to spill a huge amount of water. As the saying goes, water will find its own way. This will happen if the regulations are not followed. Elevated humidity creates favorable conditions for mold growth right under your feet. Correcting such problematic areas without exposing the entire floor is almost impossible, so such economizing is inappropriate. You will end up spending much more money repeatedly renovating your bathroom due to swollen floors and mold growth than if you had invested in high-quality waterproofing. Quality workmanship and adherence to regulations are the main criteria in the work of PO system. The company specializes in the design and construction of rapidly deployable modular buildings. When necessary, the project team can erect a wide range of structures in the shortest time possible, from small control points to full-fledged buildings with bathrooms and living spaces, all in compliance with regulations. Incorrect flooring installation. Adhering to proper construction techniques is the key task in renovation. Even with the use of cheap and low-quality materials but following the regulations, you can achieve good results. This also works the other way around. The main mistake in flooring installation that leads to a multitude of problems, such as uneven floors, swollen laminate and peeling parquet, is precisely the failure to follow the floor installation technology. For laminate, there is a specific requirement that must be strictly adhered to. It should be joined in one line and only then attached to another similar line. Neglecting this technology will result in many unnecessary damages at the joints when assembling the laminate floor. As a result, if water gets on the floor, the laminate will start to swell. The flooring will deteriorate very quickly and it will look terrible. In the case of ceramic granite tiles, you should not forget about special centering beacons that prevent the tiles from shifting relative to each other. It's also crucial to closely monitor the flatness of the floor. If you decide to deviate from the established technology for laying tiles on the floor, you will end up with uneven floors, shifted seams, and numerous irregularities between the tiles. Planning. For a successful renovation, a well-thought-out plan is essential, as it will help you avoid many problems. For example, you should immediately consider how technical hatches like those in the bathroom will be accessed. Failure to do so may lead to issues when using them. An improperly installed hatch may simply not open because it's obstructed by another object such as a toilet. It's also important to pay attention to where your doors will open. This should be considered during the planning stage. Doors in small rooms should open outward, and nothing should obstruct their opening. All of these mistakes lead to inconvenience in use and can sometimes damage the new renovation. In general, a renovation plan is crucial. If you don't think about how your furniture will fit in the room and where your heating pipes are, problems can arise. For instance, you may not be able to push a wardrobe close to the wall because there's a radiator behind it that you decided not to relocate to save money. All of these mistakes are quite foolish and can be resolved at the initial stage of the renovation, so it's important to give proper attention to the quality of the plan for your property. Since we've touched on the topic of planning, let's also talk about other important matters to address in advance. Lighting. Lighting in a living space is a very important matter that should be addressed right away. The perception of a space greatly depends on lighting. For example, if you decide to go for a dark design in your apartment, remember that black color reflects light poorly, so with dark finishes, you may have insufficient lighting. You should also consider what types of lighting fixtures you will use. Harsh lighting will immediately reveal any flaws in your walls. If wall preparation work was not done properly, you will notice it right away. In such cases, it's better to use diffused lighting rather than directional lighting. You should consider whether there will be mirrors in the room or not. Any night light that you'd like to keep to avoid bumping into things at night should not be reflected in the mirror and shine directly in your face. Such a problem is rare, but if you have huge floor-to-ceiling mirrors, it might bother you. Plan the placement of switches wisely from the start. For For example, place switches at the entrance to the bedroom and near the bed. In this way, you won't have to get out of your warm, cozy bed and go to the other end of the room to turn off the lights. Electrical wiring. During the renovation, it's important to plan your electrical wiring carefully. The electrical panel should include separate circuits for each room, with separate circuits for lighting. Failure to do so can lead to significant problems. For example, due to poorly installed outlets, a short circuit occurred. If you don't have distribution by circuits, you'll be left without electricity entirely. You'll have to search for the cause of the malfunction in the dark and then try to fix it. Or you may need to perform work in a room that involves turning off the electricity. If everything is connected to a single circuit, it will be highly inconvenient. Having a separate circuit for each room allows you to only turn off the one you need, making it possible to replace an outlet and brew yourself a cup of coffee simultaneously. It's crucial to plan the location of your electrical panel carefully. It should be easily accessible. For example, if you have a commercial space where the panel is behind electronic roller shutters, you won't be able to reach it even in the event of a false alarm of the protection devices. This can lead to significant inconvenience. And the next silly mistake will cause you a lot of discomfort. Poorly planned technical solutions. When renovating, it's essential to plan technical solutions carefully, such as drainage for wastewater. If you're considering installing a washing machine in your bathroom, it's best to do it near a water outlet, since dragging a hose across the entire room isn't logical, convenient, and can lead to potential issues like water stagnation. In case of blockages, you'll spend significantly more time resolving the problem. When installing sinks, it's crucial to think about the type of furniture to choose, so that the sink's drain doesn't take up all the space. Why have a cabinet that leaves no room for anything else? This common mistake immediately robs you of valuable storage space. You should also consider where to direct condensate from air conditioners. In new buildings, the developer often handles this by connecting the condensate lines to the drainage system or common sewage. However, failing to do so can lead to problems. Your neighbors and passers-by won't appreciate constantly dripping water on their heads. Particular attention should be given to the kitchen exhaust hood. In many countries, it's against the law to connect the exhaust ducts to the general ventilation system. This is done to allow passive smoke extraction in case of a fire. Blocking the ventilation system would make this impossible. If regulatory authorities inspect your setup, you could run into legal trouble. You can avoid this by using exhaust systems that filter the air but do not release it into the ventilation system. Today we've discussed some of the most foolish mistakes you can make during a renovation, which could lead to significant problems. Thanks for watching.